Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Chris with InsideTheU. Thanks for stopping by. It's great being back out here, watching Miami Hurricanes baseball, watched an 8-inning scrimmage today. Before I get into some of my thoughts on what I saw out here, just a few things. Look, if you want to come out here and watch this team go through a scrimmage, it's open to the public. They're going to have 2 scrimmages the next 2 days, Saturday, 6:45 p.m., and then Sunday at 10:30 a.m. if you want to check out this team. So they're getting ready for their season opener on February 14th, trying to bounce back after last year's disappointing season. And look, they have modest expectations from the outside coming into this season. The ACC preseason poll came out, and they were picked 11th. 7 of the teams in the ACC were actually in the preseason top 25. Obviously, Miami's not one of them, so they've got a lot of work to do, a lot of things to prove. And what I saw today in the scrimmage, I think there's some encouraging things that I saw. And also talking with JD Arteaga, and I'm going to post his full thoughts in an article, as well as the full stats from today's performances. But what stood out to me today, and this is what Arteaga had to say too, the bats are starting to come alive, and I saw it today. In particular, let's start with Dorian Gonzalez, hit a home run to right field. It was a great, kind of a big play there, just a nice hit, and hopefully he can kind of take it a step up from what he did last year, kind of a breakout season for him. He's considered a top 20 second baseman in the country, according to D1 Baseball in their latest rankings. And I think he's going to be a big part for this team. And when I was talking to JD afterwards, he felt like last year he was kind of slotted in the batting order, out of position. Whereas this year he thinks maybe he could bat second or sixth, and maybe that'd be a little bit better for him. And he could kind of move in those different spots because of the other guys they have in the lineup. But good to see Dorian get a hold of one in right field. Also, a really nice defensive play, and it was good. Some fans out here cheering him on the home run, and then cheering him on the defensive play there from second base. Kind of went to his right, kind of made a throw on a run, and got the runner at first base. So good to see. Dorian had one of the 2 home runs. The other home run was by freshman catcher Evan Tavares. Great to see him and his bat kind of come alive and do well. Also had a nice base hit in his first at-bat. So good to see the freshman kind of deliver with a big hit. Certainly a good performance from the catcher there, Tavares, but another catcher shined. It's Oregon State transfer Tanner Smith, a defensive-minded catcher. Actually, in his last at-bat, he had a nice base hit, kind of right where I'm standing, down this left field line, a 2-run single, just to show his bat. But that's not what he's known for. What he's known for his defensive abilities, and that was on full display. He did a good job keeping the ball in front of him on some pitches, but he threw out 3 base runners trying to steal second. And I think that's where he can really help this team. It's not necessarily he's going to be a big bat or anything like that, but certainly he'll take a 2-run single whenever that opportunity comes up. But getting those 3 guys out, and nobody stole a base on him. So going 3 for 3 there from behind the plate, just a really strong arm, gets the ball out quick. I think that it was a position of need last year, an area of need, but they just weren't able to do that well enough. And I think that, with Tanner there and kind of helping out the pitching staff, JD talked to me about him as well. Just he's really helping out the pitching staff, and I think he's going to be a big asset, even though it's not going to. I don't expect him to put up maybe big numbers at the plate. And from a pitching standpoint, I'm talking a lot about these guys in the lineup. And, Bobby Marsh had a couple hits. Penn State transfer there in the outfield. A lot of competition in the outfield. But just kind of wrapping this up with the pitchers. There were 2 guys out here that got 4 innings. And to me, these are 2 guys that I think you could see in the starting rotation. And that's Nick Robert, making that transition once again from the bullpen last year. Had some good moments today, particularly in the first 3 innings. And then he kind of gave up some hits in the 4th. So certainly closing it out. Closing out his outing a little bit better. He needed to do that. But the way it works too is each and every outing that they have in these scrimmages, they go a little bit deeper. So we'll see how he kind of progresses the next time he's out here. Expected to get 3 outings. This was his second one before the season started. And then also the freshman, Lazaro Collera, a guy that high expectations, a lot of high hopes for him, highly regarded recruit. Similar situation. He kind of looked good for the first 3 innings, and in the 4th inning, same way with Nick, where they went ahead and put some runners on base to kind of give them different situations, different scenarios to start the inning that way. Lazaro just couldn't get out of it. Kind of gave up some hits and some runs, and so he just couldn't kind of complete the outing. But there were some positive signs early on. But certainly, in talking to JD, in the fall it was a lot about working with the freshmen, about throwing pitches and just kind of coming out here. And now they got to ratchet it up a little bit and kind of put some pressure on him to make sure he's ready for the season. So, but overall, the rest of the pitchers were out here. Each of the other guys got 1 to 2 innings, the relief guys. But again, the story of us kind of the top 2 pitchers with Nick and Lazaro there, and those are 2 guys, like I said, could be in the rotation. A lot of battles still to be had there with the rotation, but definitely keep your eye on those two guys. But that's going to wrap everything up for me. Again, full stats and full thoughts from JD afterwards, talking to him, and will be posted on InsideTheU.com, so definitely check that out. But definitely want to thank you for your support. Season's just around the corner. It's always fun this time of year, getting ready for a baseball season. So thanks again for watching. Have a good rest of the weekend, and take care.